everybody. Let me just check levels. Looks like the mic is on, and logic is going through. Let's get started. Gonna move some windows around over here so I can see the chat and the music score at the same time. Happy Monday, everybody. Not always the most wonderful day of the week. We're gonna be continuing work on the game we've been working on over the past few sessions. So we're just gonna kind of move on to a new area and see what we can make. So let's see what we can do. I've been kind of sort of playing with some ideas, so I just want to get those down and see if they grow into something. Okay, let's take that and double the speed of it. Oh, I did want to mention. It's a little fast. Let's undo that. Before we get too far into it, I just wanted to quickly address something. I had somebody on YouTube ask me how I do the region colors and labels here in the region area of Logic. And the way that you do that is, if you notice, I've got all of my instrument families in track stacks in Logic. So what I've done is, for example, if I create some stacks here, if I create some new tracks here, so if I just create some general software instruments that we're going to delete, like see here's instrument 52, 53, and 54. Let's pretend those are an instrument family. I like to get rid of these dumb icons, so I would usually do that. And the way that I make everything be in a region like this with the labels is I grab all three of them, so I just hold down Shift and click a region of them. I grab them and I say create track stack. You can also use, it looks like Shift Command D. And it's going to ask me if I want a folder or a strumming stack. You want a folder stack when you're doing this. Strumming stacks are special and for sort of the built-in Logic guitar instruments. So we're going to ignore that. We're going to create that track stack. And you notice now I've got this group called Sub 11. And they're right here. And notice right here, it's labeled and it's colored. So if I rename or recolor this, like if I color this something super like this fuchsia here, you can see that the region area changes. I'm sort of out of colors. I've got enough groups that you don't necessarily see it. But anyway, that's how you do that. You can do them as a group too. Same thing. Grab your sub, grab your other ones, assign track color, and then so there's sub 11. And if I rename sub 11 to new family, now it's the color and the label. So somebody on YouTube had asked about that. Additionally, on the mixer, it's real nice. They're all in a nice group over here. They do not all go through a bus. So if you want them all to go through a bus to, like, say, combine some reverb or effects or something, you have to do that manually. So those are there, and you can delete a track stack simply by selecting all of them, and then they are gone. So we're back to where we were. So just somebody on YouTube had asked about that. That is how I accomplished that. Let's go ahead and just change our 130 to maybe a 150 tempo and see how it sounds. Yeah, that's a little bit more upbeat. Let's try 175. I want it to be just a little bit faster. We're gonna have to go up above 200. Let's go to 200 even. Good. There are some velocity issues here. Some of these notes are not loud enough. Nope, we don't want to do that. I forget you can't use a region select in there sometimes. Let's just take some of these low velocity notes and just bump them up. Good, we're going to repeat that opening phrase, and we're going to flush it out here in a little bit. Haha, I still have the analog synth selected. try that. That should be pretty good, and it's a G minor that we ended on, so that will give us a nice 5-1 cadence we can do if we so wish. Our sustain pedal off is hanging over the edge of the measure here. Nice to get a nice afternoon stream in. I'm hoping to do a nice long one today. It's about 12:45 my time. The next thing I have is at 5, so barring some, maybe a youngling getting sick at school, which I don't think he will. He seemed pretty good this morning. We should be good for at least I would hope, maybe a 4-hour stream. These need to be, why do these sound? We need to quantize them to the 8th. Cool. Let's change our loops to real regions. And let's set a key signature on our score here so that I'm not looking at gibberish. We want to be in C minor. I don't know why it's taking me so long to find it. There we go. So our chord progression is C minor, C minor, C minor, F sharp major, or F sharp minor, F sharp minor, F sharp minor, C minor, C minor, F sharp minor, D major, D augmented, G minor. And since G is a fifth away from C, we should be able to go back to actually it doesn't quite work that way. Oh, it wants us to go back to D major. That's okay. Okay, so that's going to be sort of our basic opening chord progression. We're probably going to play with it and kind of move around. We're going to try to be nice and chromatic in this one today. But we need to fill this out. We're just going to put some harp. Good, that's a little loud, but we'll fix it. Let's drop the velocities are a little aggressive. And of course we're going to need some sort of... Let's try, let's just try some woodwind chords. Obviously, we're just doing single notes here. We're going to build, that's going to be the lowest note in our woodwind chord. We want it to be pretty straight tone, so we're going to drop the modulation. This puts a little bit of life into these. Just little this sort of idea. Just a little bit of it to kind of give it a little bit more humanity. And we'll even out some of these. Make them a little more. This one may be a little too late. Good. Okay, let's, on top of that, let's do we want something that's not that really sort of nasal sound. We're going to go with clarinet on top of that. We're going to mess with this. Good, and we've got a lot of good places we can go from there. Modulation was set at 44 on our MIDI controller there. It's a little loud. Let's drop it down to about 40. Actually, let's drop it down to about 30, actually. And let's do that same idea. Adding some hairpin ideas here. Those are still a little aggressive in terms of volume, so I'm going to go ahead and move them all down. Let's try a flute on top. I think the difference in tone color might be a little bit too much. We may need to go with something. We may need to actually put oboe on the top, even though we were trying to avoid that. Balancing woodwinds is can be kind of a tricky. Sounds great to me. We're going to actually have a little bit more modulation than in the other ones because I really want this to kind of vibrate, but we're going to keep its volume nice and low. Clarinet's still a little loud. Tone color change here. Actually, no. Let's fill this out a little more. We may need to add some front matter in front of this. It's maybe a little bit aggressive right now. We're going to do some pizzicato strings because we don't want this to sound too... It's a little bit ominous, but we want it to be just a little bit playful. Pretty close. Yeah, that's nice and playful. It's a little loud. It'll sound nice when we put the viola on top. I think we should just straight up move that up a tritone. Good. I like the way that D, that last D here, sort of foreshadows the D major chord that comes in the next measure. I'm just going to try out some flatando stuff here, see if it sounds good. Sort of fill everything out. Cool. Almost. But what are we doing here? a little melodic, but I think once we put these other things around it, helps if you play the right notes. Oh, I didn't delete my previous recording. What we're going to do is we're going to have our flute come in on the thirds of those chords, so good. The clarinet's actually a little low in volume. I'm kind of shocked. Let's bring it up. There's a weird... This doesn't need to have a slur over it. I think we're going to have strings double those winds on this part, on this. A little bit aggressive. A little bit of phrasing in here. I think this is actually a little much. I think it's a little too much volume overall, but yep. Okay. Let's add in our low notes here. Perfection, easy peasy. And let's set their volume correctly. And modulation helps if you click on modulation. Sigh. Should we have a... Yeah, we probably should. We're gonna kind of kick it up a little bit in horribly out of time, but what if we did like a... It's really hard to... Hold on just a second. Just want to double check something. Yeah, better. And it's got that addition of... Obviously it's a little loud. This can be a little more. What if we did? Yeah. I just recorded it so badly that I can't figure out where to put that note. Or that note. Yeah, I like the bum bum chunk bum bum. Yeah. Mischievous, a little bit higher energy, not straight up action music. What was this English horn melody from earlier? Hey, X-Cry. Nice to see you again. Yeah, let's get a nice mischievous melody happening up here. Obviously, this is going to be doubled an octave higher on the real melody. Could use a little bit more warmth, actually. It sounds really cold with the vibrato being so low. Yes, I like this. It's just out of balance. Let's try chords, like small chords. Why? Isn't it just C minor, F, C minor, F sharp minor, right? That doesn't sound good at all. I think, oh, I know why. It's because of the way I did the viola. That's my fault. That's silly of me. Let's do some brass swells. It's going to sound a little dissonant for the same reason, but I think we can make it work. First of all, it's just C. Good, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. We just need to time it better. Part of that will be moving it back, and part of it will be smoothing the curve a little. Yeah, and maybe a little bit more of like this sort of a deal. And actually, I know there's the real problem is that you want it to kind of go almost like a sforzando, like a mini sforzando there. Yeah, it's happening too late. Okay, we got to do some new interesting things with the harmony. We've been relying on this too much. Let's see. A tritone above is going to be the same thing, isn't it? Yeah. What if we went to like a B minor? Yeah, what if we went straight to a diminished chord? I need to mess around with the piano a little bit. Yeah. Something that's not really even tonal. And a crescendo. Bum 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 bum. So like that sort of a velocity curve line, I guess. Yeah, that's not too bad. I think that'll sound good with this doing the same thing an octave lower. We're just basically going to do strings and octave, string pits and octaves here. Our viola should probably stay on staccato articulation. Awesome. Man, these fast tempos are so hard. There we go. I would probably need to put a that can start significantly more aggressively. Okay, I need to hear all of it. Fix some things while we're here, like this little line in the flute. This needs to breathe. That's like a lot of breathing. That's gonna be really loud. Let's try that. That's not in 6.8. 2, 3, 1. It's like, I think we sort of switched to 3 a while ago, but let's officially add it in here. We're gonna have to get back to 6.8 at 200 later. Yeah, we're gonna cheat. Yeah, actually, I was gonna go but is actually a little better. I'm just gonna raise the velocity of gyro. Maybe this was a little. Yeah, that saves that for there. And when we do this with 16th notes, and move it to the correct. Close. Hold on, guys. My headphones are freaking out. Come on. I'm only getting the left channel all of a sudden. You know, these Sennheiser headphones are really great, but the cords are made of like some sort of. Hold on, I gotta loop this while I fix this. There it goes. Cool. What if we went like yeah, that's fine. The first one's too loud, but boom 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 boom. Again, we want sort of a little bit tense, but nothing overly actiony. We're getting a little actiony here, so we're probably going to scale it back pretty soon. Yeah, other than this being still too much like that. There will be a day where they make an interface for Logic where all I have to do is think about the track and it will switch the track for me, but today's not that day. No, but let's double this a little bit. I'd like these celli staccato to be doubled in my bassoons. Pardon me. And maybe no. Well, yeah, actually, these violas could go on the horns. Our horns have only played a little bit. We're gonna have to be careful about how we. I had to set their modulation by hand here. It's gonna take a bit. Much too loud. So every measure, we're gonna have a little ramp up in volume, and it's gonna return back to where it started. Let's try. Or cheat a little here. Terrace dynamics here. One, two, three, four, one. Why is that? Okay, so it doesn't want to let me do. Oh, it's because it's wrong. What two notes are those? Ah! They are B and E flat. Although I like that. You know what? Why am I? It's a good question. Why am I? When? Yeah. Da 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 da. Flute sounds good. Da, 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 da. I kind of like it with the total mistake in the back. Roughly the same. If we put like maybe a... Return to the beginning here, but varied and a little more energetic. We're gonna have to add some stuff to it, but let's see what it sounds like with it just transitioning. Yeah. Yeah. See what we can do. First of all. Okay, let's do that. It's funny because I think this has been in 3/4 all along. Well, not really. That definitely has a micro macro of 6/8. Let's make sure we acknowledge that, even though it will fit in a 3/4 bar perfectly. Helps if you... Let's remove our loops. Let's join those regions, and let's add some V1s with us. We're going to add some winds here too, I think. Okay. So instead of G, though, we want to be on... Actually, what happens if we do this to this? Not my favorite. Okay, let's add those to, I think, our clarinets. Not 100% sure. Hi, Junie. How is it going? Hello, Analie. Doing just dandy. fast one. You fast up. Fast up. That's fine. I don't want to come back down. I just want it to go up. Thanks, Jonah. It's nice of you to say. Glad you're enjoying it. I guess I don't want it to come back down. I guess we could do this. Could we though? Can we though? Why? Why do you hate me? Let's hold off on the harp list for a second. Okay, I want to listen to the whole thing. To know where we're going, we have to know where we've been. Horn's too loud. Needs to be something here to make it a little more interesting, but other than that, it's good. Okay, I think I may try something weird here. Where to see? I gotta listen to another cue for this soundtrack real fast. It was 410, I think. What is the main theme again? What is the main theme of this again? That's what it is. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Hold on, let's do it again. Ugh, I closed the window. Yeah, it's a good celesta. It's from Hollywood Orchestra. Yes. This is what we're sort of looking at as our main theme, so I was going to check if I could maybe get it in here in a sort of a little faster, more fun variant. I think it's originally in... It's in E major. What if we just, like, did a fragment of it? Dun 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 dun. Yeah, just jump up to the Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have to do it in D though. Yeah. You know, that's really close to another piece I did. What if we just went like... See, I feel like we've gone too much on this thing. The problem with that theme is that it's really close to another melody I did, and I keep slipping into the other melody. The other melody's good, but I don't want to use it. I guess I'll listen to it again. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's just da 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 da. Oh, because I'm an idiot. Ugh. So easy because those two scale intervals are so close. Okay, I think I know what we're doing now. So we're gonna go into a fast version of that. Something. Something like that. Something that varies it. So let's do the melody first. Let's decide where we're gonna put that melody. I think we can pull it off in the strings chat. I think we can. We're gonna find out today. Let's just quantize this to start. And move it all back in eighth because I'm garbage piano player. Let's just get it on time first. This is gonna take a while. This is gonna be fairly involved. I think it'll be worth it. Yeah. Okay. This is so fast that there's no way we can afford to have legato transitions that are long. I'm thinking we want it to be pretty warm too. Let's try about... Okay. We do not need a legato transition here, but we do want this da 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 to have to be a phrase. And this then does not need to transition. That probably does. Okay. So that sounds on time now, but I don't think it is. It is quite CPU intensive. I'm actually running all the samples on other machines through Vienna Ensemble Pro. There's no way this machine could handle all these tracks on its own. It would fall over and die. Let's make this transition less ridiculous. Now let's decide how we're going to harmonize this, because I don't think we're going to harmonize it the same way that we do. So we're going to do the same general... Is this just a copy of this? An octave lower? Nope. It is not. Is it? No, it is not. Okay, so we do need to chop this in half. So then I did Starbound. I did it all on one machine, directly in Logic. And I almost died. it was very hard. So since then, I have done some investment in my studio setup too. Good. So yeah, as I thought, these are going to need some love. Let's do the chords first, though. Let's try this. And I think here's where we're going to do it. Normally we would go, but I think we're going to go, I think we're going to move that down. We need to move these two. This needs to be an F. It's going to be very James Horner sounding, I think. He loves to do this, or did love to do this. Rip. Take a melody, sort of play its regular version, and then sort of transpose it down a little bit. Obviously, John Williams does this as well, but John Williams is a lot more sophisticated in my experience in the way that he will take a melody and do something like this to it. I actually have a couple of Spitfires. They're not loaded right now, but they make excellent libraries. These are all East-West. I have their Olfar Arnold's whatever. I don't know how to say his name. Felt piano. Actually, wait, that one is loaded. That is a beautiful, beautiful library. I mean, that is just. But I've not used their orchestral stuff just because I happen to have just sort of gotten on the boat with East-West early on. So, for orchestral stuff. So, I've got quite invested in theirs. So now we need this to like... So it's kind of got that swashbuckly, adventure-y feel, which is good. It's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, da. I think we're so this legato transition is stupid. I think we can actually afford to have no transition. Da, 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 da. Yeah, we don't have to have a legato transition there. And if we don't have to have a legato transition, we shouldn't be doing it. It's a beautiful, beautiful piano. I generally don't. This is not a like advice for people to not use. I generally have in the past and even today sort of kind of avoid Kontakt. I know that's super unpopular. If Kontakt works for you, by all means use it. By the way, I mean if your entire template is Kontakt, more power to you. I'm glad it's working for you. I have a ton of issues with it. I actually find it super glitchy for me. I keep it updated. I work with a lot of libraries. I mean, pretty much everything in this section of my synth section is as a Kontakt library. I do have the 8dio strings loaded too in Kontakt on another machine, and I fight Kontakt a lot. I know it is way more popular than Play, but I prefer Play personally. That's a preference. That's not a statement of like objective fact, but so how would let's go back to thinking about John Williams. How would he do this? This sounds very hooky to me. How would he do this? First of all, he wouldn't use these chords. He would use this chord. I see tons of people online complain for paragraphs and paragraphs on like VI Control or whatever about Play, East-West engine, but I find it is significantly more stable The one that I think is my favorite that I can't afford is, Vienna's actual sampling libraries. Vienna Symphonic Orchestra. I have fond memories of using back when I used it. Let's see. Let's ba 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 ba. I think maybe ba 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 ba. Do we want to add the seventh? Ba 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 ba. Let's try this. In fact, let's do it with staccato horns to make it even more hook. And of course, we need them to actually be on time. Yeah. Would need to put some dynamics in them too. And then we'll switch to legato here. What chord is that? I've already forgotten. It's B minor. That's right. Duh. So we just did that. So now we probably want to go to... Good. Okay. So this is going to... Like I said, this section is going to... These few measures are going to take a lot of work. Pardon me. Ugh. Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna do some cool other staccato things. So those guys are going. So maybe we should go. Should they be doubled? They probably should be just. Maybe not. These stupid headphones. Man. Come on. Okay, there we go. The cables for these Sennheisers are just, they're made of like, I don't know, like unicorn hair. I mean, they're so incredibly fragile and touchy, and you let them get moved. Yep, see, it's already broken again. There we go. Okay, we need to have the rest of our strings do things here now too. I know my brass is like super loud. I will fix it in a second. We need our... Okay, so I'm thinking in the low strings, maybe what we'll do is... Let's just do it over here. Man, the latency, it's real. Cool. Other than that region being too long. Yeah, I've just Kontakt has just never really clicked with me. Although I do have a lot of libraries for it that I love. I use Vienna Ensemble to host all the samples. So instead of a Play plugin here, it's actually Vienna Ensemble Pro. And by the way, this usually causes me to drop frames, but let's do it anyway. And then there is another computer sitting over here. It's actually a Windows machine that is actually running the samples. So that entire machine's job is just to host samples through Vienna, and then over the network, the computer you're seeing, this Mac in Logic, will send over the network the MIDI commands to this. It renders the actual sample and then sends the audio back. So it allows this machine, the master machine, to save on CPU. Also, Vienna is just an absolutely monster efficient sample host. I used to actually use Vienna on this local machine. So I used to actually host the samples locally in Vienna because it was faster to have Vienna and Logic running and be connecting over localhost to the Vienna server on the same machine, and more efficient, because Logic is just not. It's a beautiful. I like it. It's my favorite DAW. It's the one I use every day. But Logic is not good at hosting VSTs. It's very inefficient. So I really recommend Vienna if it's within your budget. It's not. I think it's it's expensive considering what it is. It's just host software and it's like $250, but it's a nice setup. I've definitely invested some stuff I've done doing games back into the studio, but it's not terrible. If you were to compare my setup to what a real professional composer uses, I consider myself a professional composer too, but I use just regular iMacs, just your standard whatever the spec'd out 32 gig RAM iMac is that Apple sells. I don't run any of their pro hardware. So a real professional composer would be running the pro equipment, the Mac Pro, and they would actually be running the sample server on a really monster actual server hardware, the rack mounted server with a 16 core Xeon processor. If you've ever seen videos of Zimmer's studio, Zimmer just has server racks. Just the size of this bookshelf, just full of servers, because he'll run I run generally a bunch of orchestral samples over there, but he'll run an entire server that just runs say an instrument, like a clarinet instrument, and all the articulations and stuff for all of a specific synth. So, depending on what you're doing, this is actually, kind of low end stuff, but it works out, and it definitely does help with the problem of, popping and clicking and stuff. And for example, it lets me run these powerful system string stuff from Hollywood Strings, which before I could never even dream. Let's record these over here. It's just the USB latency. Between the latency of the USB controller that I'm using and then it going across the network, it is often, oh, it's only one measure of each. I did two measures of each. The latency is real. Plus I have it buffered at 512 because I was getting some artifacting, but yeah, no, I just have two sample servers. So there's a second iMac that I'm looking at that runs some samples. It's basically my old studio machine, and then there's a PC over here. Like I said, normally you'd have 5 or 6 sample servers. I can't believe this is so quiet. Let's start fixing some volume problems here. We're going to have to put some percussion transition in there too. Why do you hate me? Hey, Logic, stop being stupid. All right. Yep. Delete that node. Thanks. Why do you... I want this node. Yep. And I don't want a new node. I want that node. Thanks. Will this one do it? It will. Let's delete the earlier node. Obviously, those trumpets need to come down super a lot. Let's bring those trumpets down. We're going to have to go in and shape them too. They're going to sound a little... Really? Are those trumpets not controlled by modulation? They are controlled by modulation, but they're just too loud. Let's just turn down their expression. That'll fix it. Lazy. Oh, we need another measure of that. Cool. Let's do that. This should be easy. Cut, repeat, grab, make everything a real region, join. Okay. I'm a little concerned this is a little tappy. Let's see what it sounds like. I like it. That's fine. That all works. Let's again, these brass are just so overpowering right now, and we need to figure out, we need to add some trombone stuff to this brass. I think we can get away with... Why do you hate me, Logic? Oh, because that's the brass track. I think we can just get away with like doing... I think we can have this in the low brass can just be long. I may get rid of this whole section. It's one of those things where you have to get it all fleshed out and see how you like it before you... I didn't think I wanted low brass there, but that tuba is really quiet because tubas are quiet. I think some percussion will help it. If we do like this, I think it'll fix it. Okay, let's try that. Our strings are still too loud. They're too quiet down there too, which is weird. Do I have... Oh, you know why? I know why. Not only are they not maxed out in terms of absolute volume, they also have no vibrato. Oh no, they do have vibrato. They just need to be doubled. Yeah, we'll do like a flute run maybe, like something like that. Something up and down, up and down. I didn't understand brass instruments and orchestration in... I'm sorry that your link is deleted, Juni. Let me go in and fix that real fast. Is it okay to write chords and brass instruments? So there's a difference between real orchestration and MIDI orchestration in a DAW like this. So the reason I put chords like in my horn choir over here, like I'll just, you know, The reason that's okay is because, that's how you have to do it. If we were writing this in an actual score, we would just divide those 3 notes that I'm doing in that chord among our horns, probably 2, 3, and 4, and we just split it off. Sometimes in a score, you will see them written as chords. For example, you might see all 3 of your horns written on the same staff, and in that case, maybe you would see it like what I have here, where you have 3 notes, and then the players would sort of go in and pick the note that they were responsible for. But like a brass instrument, right, can only play 1 note at a time. So whenever you have like a chord like that, typically it's split between 3 separate horns. And again, it works in this context because this is a long patch, and each note is sampled from a single instrument. So together it sounds like there are 3 individual horns playing that chord. So it is okay to write chords, but just know that you have to have that many players of those brass instruments, or that many parts of that brass instrument to be able to cover all 3 of those. And it just kind of, from a notational perspective, it just kind of depends on how you're choosing to notate your instruments. Oftentimes you'll see, for example, let's pop open just real fast. This is a nice time because I need kind of a break to step away from this little section for a second. Oftentimes what you'll see is more than 1 instrument on the same staff. So if I just load up the regular old orchestral template in Sibelius, where is it? Okay, so let's do orchestra concert. So you'll see for example, if I wanted a chord in my horns, I would have to write them out. Oops. Like this. I would have to write. This is a stupid way to voice it, but see, that is actually this chord. I'll put it in the bassoons just for that chord that I just actually put in the trumpets. That chord is actually this chord. All 4 of these notes, but it's just split between 4 horns. Sometimes what you might see is these 2 horn 3 and 4 on the same staff, and what you would see then is this, where it's written as 2. So that's kind of a complicated question. It just kind of depends on how you're notating. But do you want to make the save change you made on top 2? Nope. So that is a little notational thing. So let's go back to... I think legato oboe here will fix all of our problems forever, he said, knowing that it's probably going to introduce more problems. Sounds awesome. Doodle-link. Doodle-link. Let's do a piccolo run there. Okay, we're gonna have to... Where does it hit the... like there? So really, we could probably just put it... And actually... yeah, no problem. Someday, there will be a day, someday, where I get to do a whole score in Sibelius. I don't have to worry about any DAWs or stuff. That'd be wonderful, right? Let's see if that sounds good. This may be a little... right now I've got a chromatic run loaded, and I think it's going to be a little bit too... it may not work. It's a measure early. No. Why? Why do you hate... Oh, it changed... Shoot. Okay. You could see the idea, or hear the idea, hopefully. Okay, where does that... Okay. Where does it hit? Yeah, that should be right. It's just off a little bit.
And it needs to sort of do this. This may not work. And I could probably make it work. That doesn't sound too bad. Let's see how it sounds like. Yeah, it just needs to be doubled in the other winds. Let's put it on the legato runs, flute runs as well. It's a little loud too. We'll bring it down in volume overall. Yeah, that's definitely going to be too loud. Let's fix that now. And again, I think the chromaticism may stick out a little too much. I also think I might have close mics loaded on this. Why is my Let's fix this. I'm gonna fix this.